This meeting is being recorded.
Nobody else? All right, good morning. How is everybody today? Ready to learn about sewer scopes?
Yay!
Find out that, you know, they're not so scary. We'll talk a little bit about all that good stuff. This presentation should last about an hour. I have some videos in there. Hopefully they'll work to kind of explain some of the systems, give you the overall background of sewer scopes, what we look at, what we don't look at. So let's get started. First of all, who is this big loud guy talking to you? I always start our presentations out a little bit of background about us and Homesite. I am a Navy military vet long time ago. I actually was a jet mechanic in the military, and we've been in the home inspection business for 25 years. This is actually our 25th year. We got to do something special, I guess. General manager and owner of Homesite Inspection Services. I am the past president of the Wisconsin Association of Home Inspectors. I am the past president of the National Association of Home Inspectors. I have been on the Lifetime channel speaking on behalf of the home inspection industry. Also, at one time, was a certified national home inspector trainer for American Home Inspection Training, and affiliate of the year for the GMAR 2018. That's when, none of this COVID stuff started. So a little bit about Homesite, or our philosophy. We believe in truly caring about others. We believe that family is the most important thing. Always have a nice, healthy root. Always encourage that date night with your significant other, even when things get busy. We believe that everybody deserves a home. It could be a new home, pretty home, old home, it doesn't matter. Everybody deserves that American dream. And we believe in supporting real estate agents in any way that we can, whether it's through education or helping sponsor something for them. If it's important to them, it's important to us. All right. A little bit about Homesite. Some people may not know this, but we do way more than just a home inspection. We have full-time professional office staff. That's pretty rare in this industry. A lot of people are one-man shows. They work out of their home, maybe have the wife answer the phone, but we have a great office staff. We have great customer service. We also have multiple offices. Our main office is in Milwaukee, but we have offices in Waukesha, Heartland, Menominee Falls, and West Bend. I might add that these are inside real estate offices, much like your own. We do that so we can support them around the clock. This is the agent's way of actually having us at their beck and call. If it's for either our inspections or someone else's inspections that may affect them in any way and they just want some feedback, we're always there to support them and help them with any questions that they may have. All our reports are third-party quality control. That's a military thing for me. That is, I know when we would do a procedure on an aircraft, the person actually providing the service to the aircraft would not be the inspector because you're too close to that component. You need somebody who can come up as a third party, look at everything, make sure it's done properly, collect the tools, account for everything. And that's kind of how I think the report should be run. Being out on site, there's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that can, cause an error, so to speak. So we like to have our lead inspector look at all inspection reports to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted before it goes out. And that all happens the very next day. So there's really no delay in the report either. We offer a 200% satisfaction guarantee. I don't care who you use, who you talk to. There's nobody in the business that'll offer a 200% guarantee. We do. What does it mean? It means that at the end of the inspection, the client doesn't feel we earned our money. We don't ask for payment, and we will hire another inspector of their choosing to come in and re-inspect the house. That's something we pride ourselves on and how confident we are to provide that guarantee. With the inspection, we provide a free 90-day home warranty with zero deductible. We give free recall alerts on all the mechanicals and appliances. That's an ongoing service. Every day, thousands of products get put on the recall list. But guess what? They don't call you. They don't let you know. you have to find out for yourself, and it usually means a free repair or free replacement by the manufacturer. We have the best report there is, as far as I'm concerned. Lots of photos, videos, and agents may not know this, even the ones that use this, but there are tools built into the report where it can make your life easier when making an addendum. If you're interested in having me walk through with you those tools, I'd be happy to do that. Easy scheduling 24/7 online, and we do have a call center that you can actually contact and talk to a physical person anytime of the night, believe it or not. Free mold warranty with all our inspections, free 5-year roof warranty, free security system with ADT, free sewer line warranty. That is a 90-day warranty. And if you get a sewer scope, it increases it to a year. So that's good information to know. Free Porch Home Assistant Gold. We do partner with Porch.com out of Seattle. It's our concierge service. What that simply means is they have a product called Home Assistant Gold, and they do sell it all around the country. They basically take the mind process of owning a home and put it away. So basically what I'm saying is 50% of the people that do own homes, guess what? They have no idea how to take care of a house. They don't know who to call if something goes wrong. They just don't know. So Porch, having a home assistant, gets assigned to them, and they tell you how to take care of your house. They'll tell you when the furnace needs to be tuned up. They'll tell you when the gutters need to be cleaned, so on and so forth. So you don't have to think about it. And if you don't want to do it or can't do it, they can find somebody to help you do it. So that product sells for $360. People purchase it all over the country, and our clients get it for free forever. We also offer a 1-year structural warranty and a free radon protection. I don't know if people knew about this. The radon protection is, you get those houses where you got a 3.9 and it makes the buyer a little bit nervous. This radon protection is if they were to test it anytime within the next year and find it to go over 4, they have protection to put a radon system in. So it kind of gives them some comfort. And free E&O coverage to any agent that does refer us. So if something, in the unlikely event something goes haywire, because anything can happen out there, you know it, I know it, our E&O insurance will cover any agents or people that do refer us. So it's good to know you're in good hands. Services that we provide, obviously home inspections. We added this page because we have found out that a lot of people don't know what else we do. We do obviously commercial inspections. We've done large hotels. We've done smaller motels. We've done mixed use properties. So we do a lot of that stuff. Radon testing, of course, sewer scopes, as you know, air and mold testing. We do in-ground swimming pools, WDO inspections. That is actually wood destroying organism inspections, or you may know them as termite inspections. As you know, VA loans have to have a WDO inspection. And because we are veteran owned, if we do the inspection, we will do the inspection for the termites absolutely free and fill out the paperwork. A way of saying thank you for your service. We do repair estimate reports. Say, for instance, you have a tight, I get a tight contingency line where you have only a couple days. You don't have all this time to actually get prices on some of the things that they're concerned about. Well, we have companies that will take our report and put a price tag on everything for you. They can do that within 48 hours, and the prices estimates are guaranteed, which is pretty amazing. We do asbestos testing, lead-based paint testing. We have 18-month home warranties that we have for the price of 12. We are a distributor for residential warranty services warranties. This is a warranty. It's a whole different presentation. It's a warranty that covers more and covers longer than any warranty company out there. We do pre-listing inspections, of course, walk and talks. So if you want to just kind of get a verbal as to what the property condition is in, we can do that. And also 5-point inspections, which basically give you an inspection of the major components of the home if they don't want a full-fledged inspection. So we can do a lot of things to accommodate people. And then we're working on getting well and septic approved as well to do those inspections for you. So, all right. Sewer scopes, you ready? Welcome to our world. You got happy ones, you got maybe some keen ones, you got some angry ones. They're all in there. This is part of our world when we started to do sewer scopes. Very, very interesting world at that. What you will learn today. What is a sewer scope and video inspection? A lot of people don't know what it is. Why a sewer scope should be part of almost every transaction that you are in. We're also going to talk about how do we set the buyer and seller's expectations with regard to a sewer scope inspection. What are the limitations that may be encountered with a sewer scope? What will the report include and reveal? And how do we deal with the issues that have been found, if any? So all those things we will touch on to prepare you for your client, or to prepare you and your client for this type of inspection. What you will not learn is how to be an expert on sewer scope and video inspections. So this is just an overview of what we do. It doesn't make you an expert. All right, I'm going to play this little video. It's a basic understanding of how a plumbing sewer system works. I think this is imperative to let you know the overall fundamental and foundation of sewer scopes. So let me know if somebody's not seen this video.
Gravity. It's the defining principle of physics here on Earth. It affects nearly everything in the universe and is precisely 9.80665 meters per second squared at sea level. It's also how your poop gets from your toilet to the wastewater treatment plant. Sewer systems are wonders of modern infrastructure. Back in the olden days, cities had open sewers where waste flowed through open canals on the streets. Today, we're much more civilized. We transport our waste underground in large pipes. Sewer systems are essential to modern plumbing. Every time you flush a toilet, use a sink, or take a shower, you create liquid waste of varying chemical makeups that has to be transported and treated. You could just flush it into a septic tank, but these tanks require maintenance and come with a host of other issues when integrated en masse for modern cities. We have to manage our waste because it stinks, it contains deadly bacteria, and it has dangerous chemicals that could affect the environment. You probably know that wastewater gets treated at a wastewater treatment plant, but let's take a look how it gets there. Sewer systems. Urban wastewater systems are needed in densely populated areas so you don't have to deal with your neighbor's waste. In ideal environments, sewer systems are completely gravity fed, meaning that the pipes slope downward from the source, your toilet, to the wastewater treatment plant. This is done because wastewater has a lot of solids in it, making it harder to pump. Wastewater also has a lot of bacteria and chemicals, and when we push it through turbulent environments like pumps, it can create dangerous and deadly gases like hydrogen sulfide. In an ideal sewer system, pipes from each house or building flow into a sewer main that usually runs alongside a road or underneath one. The sewer main in a large area is usually 3 to 5 feet in diameter, with pipes from each house being about 6 to 12 inches in diameter on average. In every sewer main, there are periodical vertical pipes that meet the ground with manholes. These access points are spaced depending upon the local code and needed just in case a problem arises in the sewer main. Say your toddler has a nasty habit of flushing toys. If they do this enough and the toys make it into the main, there might eventually be a major clog that city workers need to remove. Sewer mains will flow into progressively larger and larger pipes as they accumulate more and more sewage, until eventually they reach a wastewater treatment plant. Usually, these plants are in low-lying areas to make engineers' jobs of designing sewer systems much easier. However, all of this gravity-fed sewer system talk is the ideal scenario. What happens when your house is below the elevation of the wastewater treatment plant, or if the sewage needs to travel over a hill? You need to pressurize the poop. This is done using grinder pumps or lift stations to pump the sewage up over hills. These stations collect sewage from lower elevations and utilize pumps to push it up to the needed height where it can gravity flow from there on out. These pumps are specifically designed to handle the high amount of solids seen in waste like toilet paper and flushable wipes. These pumping locations are usually in places of relatively low elevation due to their nature and will likely have a small building to house the equipment. They're also usually placed far away from human populations as they have a nasty habit of exploding, or at the very least producing dangerous levels of hydrogen sulfide due to the turbulent sewage. Sewer systems at their core are a bunch of sloped piped drains that take your waste from your house to a treatment plant. Occasionally there are pumps, but for the most part, gravity does all of the work.
All right. That gives you the overall fundamental.
Gravity.
Whoops.
It's the
So now let's work from the house or from backwards to the house. What type of pipes are we usually seeing in a sewer lateral? Well, we have ABS, which is this plastic stuff here. Okay. PVC, which is this. CI, which is cast iron here. And then some are tile, depending on the age of the house. When we do the report, we do identify what type of material it is. And some materials have more problems than other materials. So this is another little video I like to put in here to kind of explain how the plumbing system works, okay? And we're gonna put all of this together once we're done with this video. So here we go.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to another instructional video. In this video, I want to cover how the plumbing works in a typical home. Everything we do pretty much relies on plumbing when you think of it for a second. Whether it's washing your car or brushing your teeth before going to bed, you're using your home's plumbing system. A home's plumbing system is composed of 4 things: waste drains, waste vents, potable water, and rainwater management. So let's go through each process one by one and talk about what they do. Let's start off with the drains. Most homes have either ABS, PVC, or cast iron drain pipes and vents. These pipes are connected to all the fixtures in the home, such as toilets, sinks, bathtubs, and showers. When the fixture is used, the waste is carried inside these drain pipes that have a slight slope to them down the main drain, up until it reaches the municipal drain under the street. I'll also show where this waste goes later in the video. Every here and there, you'll find cleanouts like this. These are what give you access to the inside of the pipes in case there's a blockage. Most homes in the US also have these outside, so it's easier for the plumber to access it. As for pipe sizes, most toilet drains are 3 inches, kitchen and bathroom sinks are 1.5 inches or 2 inch if it's wet vented, and showers and bathtubs are 2 inches by code. The main stacks are either 3 inches or 4 inches depending on what the code asks for and your municipality. But some homes don't have municipal services, so how do they get rid of their waste? Simple. The main drain pipe that would normally go to the sewers goes into what's called a septic tank. This septic tank, which is either concrete or polyethylene, separates the solids from the liquids and flows into a leach field or drain field, which then goes into the ground to get naturally filtered. The solids, though, eventually need to get pumped out by a vacuum truck to make sure it functions properly. Now onto the venting. For these fixtures and drains to function adequately, the system needs to be properly vented. When a toilet is flushed, for example, the water pushes the air downstream, causing a negative pressure behind it. The vents are what equalize this change in pressure to prevent things like gurgling and P-traps being siphoned out, which would allow for sewer gases to find their way inside your home. These vents get their air through the roof and need to stay clear from bird nests and debris, or you're assured of having problems. Something else this vent serves is to relieve any pressure buildup inside the actual municipal sewer line. Some cities had their manhole covers blast up 50 feet in the air because rats would chew on electrical wires and would in turn create a spark and ignite the methane gas inside the sewers. So the vent minimizes the chance of this happening. As for potable water goes, it comes from the street like the other services and typically has between 40 to 80 psi of pressure. Every home with a water supply from the city has to have a shut-off valve outside just like this, in case the city needs to close the water. This copper line, which is normally 3/4 of an inch in size, comes into the basement through the concrete slab to another shut-off valve, which is only accessible to the homeowner. Here we see the hot water tank. Your hot water tank, which is either electric or gas fed, is fed cold water to then heat it up and distribute it throughout the house thanks to the city's pressure. Some homes still have CPVC or copper lines, but new constructions use mostly PEX as it's reliable and quick to install. So back to before's question, how does one get water if there's no municipal services? In rural areas, people use wells. A well is basically a hole that's drilled approximately 500 feet in the ground to access groundwater via pumping. This water is pumped back up and goes through a series of apparatuses to make the water drinkable. A downside to this is if the electricity cuts out, you'll need a generator to get a glass of water. And the last aspect is rainwater management. In the past, rainwater and sewage was combined, meaning the rainwater went into the same sewer as the waste from your house. Since then, they've been separated to make water management easier. So when it rains, all of this water has to go somewhere, right? The rain that falls on the house's roof trickles into the gutters. Now, the gutter's job is to divert the water away from the house to prevent water infiltrations. So what most people do is install a 5-foot piece onto the downspout so the water has somewhere to go, which is perfectly fine. Other people prefer recovering this water in barrels to use as non-potable water to water their plants and flowers, and some actually connect them to the weeping tile or French drain. The French drain is the corrugated pipe that runs around the house's footing to catch any excess water in the ground. The problem when doing this is that the municipal drain could get overloaded very quickly and overflow. So it's best to invest in a rainwater collection system or to just let the soil absorb the water if possible. So where does all of this waste and rainwater go once it's in the municipality's hands? Both of these services head down the road, which eventually need to be lifted at a lifting station, which pumps the storm and wastewaters back up so they don't go too deep. The rainwater dumps itself into a nearby river, and the waste continues to the sewage treatment plant where it passes through multiple filters and treatment stages to then be released back into the nearest river, and the cycle continues. The water from the river is filtered and pumped back into the city's main as potable water, which is safe to drink. And that's basically how your plumbing system works. I hope this video clarified some things about how we use our water. What's up, guys?
Wow, did you understand all that? Did it put it all together for you? I love that video. It really puts a good, we talk about Palmer valves and combined sewer systems with sanitary sewers, and that gives a good description as to how these sewers have been divided in modern construction so that we don't over bombard our sewers. So with that background, let's talk a little bit again about sewer scopes. A sewer scope, the definition is a video inspection of the sewer lateral line leading from the house at or near the foundation and connecting to the city or septic tank. So that's the line we're specifically talking about. This particular line is the most expensive plumbing component that your client, or even you, if you own a house, are responsible for. And 9.9 out of 10 times, it does not get inspected. So This is more of the visual. Only the main sewer line will be scoped. So when we say, hey, we're going to do a sewer scope inspection, we're not doing the plumbing lines underneath the slab in the basement. We are specifically doing this pipe here and this pipe only. Okay. The main sewer lateral is the portion of the waste pipe system that carries the waste from the structure to the city sewer connection or the septic tank. So if you had a septic tank here, we would just be inspecting that lateral, not the sewer system or the septic tank itself. Sometimes this line can be 5 feet, sometimes 10 feet, sometimes 80 feet, sometimes 200 feet, depending on how far or how big of a front yard that they have. So the sewer scope does not include inspecting any interior sewer and waste lines other than the lines needed to gain access to the main sewer lateral. So we have a clean out here. We're inspecting number 4 here. We are not inspecting these underneath the slab. All other sewer lines, pipes are excluded from the inspection. Not from the home inspection, nor more or less, it's just this sewer inspection. So we have a sewer scope performed. If you do have one, the number one complaint, or I should say why we have a sewer scope performed, the number one complaint that we receive from buyers is a sewer issue. Okay, somebody comes, they buy a house, and then shortly after they have a slow drain, maybe there's a backup, clogs, whatever the case may be. We get those calls, and then they'll ask, why wasn't this discovered on a home inspection? And we'll talk more about that. But these are all issues that normally cannot be detected on a home inspection. Which houses, if anybody wants to chime in here, what houses qualify for good candidates for sewer scopes?
Ones with a lot of trees in the front yard?
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? It's a no-brainer. I got to chat one here. When you live in a very busy street, that includes semis, garbage, trucks, all that good stuff, big lateral traffic. Yeah, that's a good one too. I should actually add that. I don't have that one on my list, but believe it or not, any house over 20 years old, any house that's over 20 years old is a candidate, and any house with mature trees or bushes that can penetrate that sewer lateral. This is the big question. Why wouldn't a home inspection find these issues? Well, during the home inspection, we do a general inspection. It's a visual inspection, okay? We run the fixtures, we run the toilets, we run, all the faucets, but we cannot simulate a normal family living there and maybe flushing toilets at the same time, doing laundry while you're flushing toilets, maybe creating situations that we cannot duplicate on an inspection. Okay. We don't fill up tubs and then drain it. Well, we do if there's a Whirlpool tub, but we don't do multiple loads of laundry. We do not simulate prolonged heavy use of fixtures. We run the fixtures for a couple of minutes and turn them off. So they're just not duplicating that family, I guess, situation, say a family of 4, maybe a family of 5, whatever the case may be. Not to mention the person who lives there might have been a little old lady who hardly ever used their plumbing. And then now you change it to a family of 4 or 5, it creates a different scenario that can then create a situation that was not duplicated on the home inspection. Okay. So in short, we don't use the house like it would be used by the entire family. And that's why issues can go unseen on a home inspection when it comes to the sewer lateral. Now, issues after the transaction, you know it, I know it, it's all negative energy. Okay. If there's a problem that comes up after, it's normal for everybody to look at someone else, because they're looking for someone to blame it on, most cases. Okay. Clients have issues with their new home. They're not likely to refer their agent. They're not likely to refer the home inspector, whoever the case may be. Or or whoever's fault they think it is, they're not going to refer you, most likely. This could lead to a loss of referrals. You're shortening your sphere. And of course, you could be named in a lawsuit, which nobody ever wants to be a part of. And remember, anyone can sue anybody for any reason. And I don't know if you've ever been to a transaction where somebody gets sued, whether it's your fault or not, on a real estate transaction, they pull in everybody. They'll put everybody on the list and then they'll eliminate them later. And it's not a fun experience. So if you really want to protect your clients and you want to make sure that you are doing a service for them in addition to the home inspection, this is something they might want to consider. Now, are sewer scopes the new standard? Now, I'm in a network of home inspectors all over the country, okay? And this is happening all over. Matter of fact, more in other areas than here. It's just starting to come in here, and the equipment is very, very expensive. And in this particular southeast of Wisconsin, maybe the Wisconsin area, as the equipment prices are going down, inspectors will end up buying them. So it'll happen sooner or later. Even in some municipalities, they require a sewer scope to be done with a real estate transaction. I don't know if you knew that, but there are certain areas of the country that do require that. We are seeing more and more townships and cities that are passing ordinances that require sewer scope inspection before the sale of the property takes place. And the reason is the city wants to know if your pipe is damaged because you're literally leaking sewage into the ground. And obviously we don't want that. So they will make sure that that gets repaired if they mandate them. Now, setting expectations for your client. Everybody knows how important it is to set your client's expectations. The sewer scope is no different, explaining to them what we're going to be inspecting, what we're not inspecting, how long it'll take. And we go over the phone. We go over this description on the phone when we do, someone books a sewer scope, letting them know what's going to happen. But it's kind of like a roller coaster. You go up, if you can see the entire line of the roller coaster, okay, ups and downs, you're going to kind of better anticipate what's going to be happening. Like, oh, I see a hill coming here, so I'm gonna brace, right? You can anticipate the next move. But if you don't know what the next move is, and you're on the top of a hill on a roller coaster, and you don't know how far the drop is, you kind of freak out. So you don't want that freak out syndrome. And to explain what's going to happen next to your client is the best ammunition you can have as an agent to bring your transaction to closing without that freak out syndrome. Letting them know that you have a process involved, okay? Letting them know, I always like to call it the post-home inspection resolution process. Letting them know every step of the transaction, how this is going to work, as if you've been there and done it a million times. Very, very important. It will eliminate that freak out syndrome. That's when people freak out, when they don't know the next step, okay? So setting their client expectations, a seller needs to ensure interior access to the sewer lateral point of access, because we're going to take that little cover off, usually at the front of the house by the main water shutoff. They're usually together in most cases. We're not going down the floor drain, okay? We're going down a clean out. And we do need a wrench to pull that cover off. Letting the buyer know which pipe will be inspected. We tell them that as well. Just like I'm telling you on this Zoom presentation, we're not inspecting the plumbing pipes underneath the concrete floor of the basement. We're inspecting only the sewer lateral, okay? Letting clients know that if access cannot be obtained, a sewer inspection will maybe need to be rescheduled or even canceled. There are times when we go into a house and we cannot remove the cover. We've also gone into properties where there's just unique situations where you remove the cover and all of a sudden there's concrete in there for some reason. In that situation, we're obviously not going to be doing the sewer scope. They can, of course, hire a professional plumber to get access to these areas if they're still interested in having it done. But we're not going to damage or break components to get into that sewer lateral. And then we review the limitations of the video. inspection to the clients. So even though we have a camera down it, there are areas that we can't see. There could be bellies, there could be damaged pipes, there could be clogs. A lot of times, sounds gross, but a lot of times toilet paper wraps around the camera and it blurs the pictures. So depending on the situation, we try to eliminate that, but situations do arise that can limit our inspection. Limitations, again, continue on with this. The inspection is not technically exhaustive. Keep in mind, you're just running a camera down it. We're not repairing anything. It's very limited by nature, depending on the situation, as I just described. Not every square inch of the sewer system will be inspected. They need to understand that. Not all the defects may be reviewed. We're just looking for obvious ones. So for instance, a hairline crack may not be observed, but a large damaged collapsed pipe most likely would be. The sewer scope is not a code compliant inspection. So if it's a material that's not allowed anymore, or maybe the pipe is a little bit too small, or maybe not, it's not the proper size for that municipality, we're not going to be commenting on that. So again, just like a home inspection, not a code compliant inspection, we're not dictating code. We won't be doing that with the sewer scope video. And unreported defects may exist that cannot be detected by visual inspection only, as I described earlier. Is there a warranty? Like home inspections, the short answer and long answer, we have no, and then we have, oh, hell no. Okay, that's the long answer. The sewer scope video inspection and report do not constitute a warranty or guarantee of any kind, express or implied. However, it will, like I said, increase your free sewer warranty with our inspections for a year if this gets performed, as opposed to 90 days. By the way, most people that call us back with a sewer issue, it usually happens within a few months of them purchasing the home, because again, situations have changed. There might have been only 2 people living in the house at one time, and now there's 5, and creates a different scenario. So good information there. What does the inspection entail, and how long does it take? Well, we attempt to gain access to the sewer lateral. We usually do this depending if we have 1 or 2 people doing the inspection. Sometimes if we have a larger house, oh, I jumped ahead. Sometimes if we have a larger house, we'll have one guy do the ancillary services, and then the other guy will do the inspection. But we attempt to gain access to the sewer lateral. A small amount of water we run down the sewer line, which provides lubrication. We're jamming this camera down here, and if it's dry, it may not be able to go through all the bends and twists and turns. So we do run a little bit of water down. We insert the video camera into the line and attempt to run it through the line to access the condition, so we can see the condition of the main sewer lateral. We do videotape it. Okay, we like to put the video right in the report. So if there is an issue, what usually people do is they'll take that video and show their plumber or sewer lateral professional, so they can get more information as to what it might cost to repair it. The entire process takes about 45 minutes or less, depending on the house. So it doesn't really prolong anything. Now, what equipment is used? We have actually both of these types of equipment here. And both do a fine job. These are both about 100 feet. The difference here, you get what you pay for. There are some equipment pieces out there that are less expensive. But like anything, you get what you pay for. The sewer inspection video can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, depending on what you purchase. The camera requires a light source. You absolutely need a light source, otherwise it's not going to work. The light source should be bright. We have cameras that we can put on different light levels, so to speak. The camera should have a good resolution so the video can be clear. You should be able to take pictures with it as well. Each video, from experience, that we put in is about maybe 7 to 10 minutes long. That's how long the sewer lateral actually takes. and that's going in and going out. We videotape both of it. Camera should be able to scan a pipe length. So if we do have a blockage or a problem area, we should approximately know where it is, like 60 feet out, 40 feet out, so on and so forth. So all of the equipment has different features. The less expensive it is, the less features it has. And when you have an issue, you kind of want to know where it's at. So, all right. This is a video of an actual sewer scope. So I'm going to play this a little bit. He's going to tell you, walk you through the whole process here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what we find. We'll talk more about what we do when we do find issues and so forth. So here you go. This is the last video.
Hi, I'm Jim Crum, Colorado's Best Home Inspections. On this house here today, we're going to do a home inspection, a sewer scope, and we're going to do radon testing. This is our equipment here. So let's go on and get started. Okay, we're going to perform a sewer scope on this house. Before we got started, we kind of looked around to see where it was going to be our easiest position to do the scope. This one has the floor drain, which is really nice because then if somebody upstairs flushes water or something like that, we don't have leaks. If you use something like this, you need to make sure that whoever is above you doesn't turn water on. But I'm going to use our little tool. I'm going to pull this off. You know, I already have the camera on. I like to, when I start to record, I like to scan around the room so that if they do share this with a seller, they know they're actually looking at their house, so that they know it's just not a generic report that somebody's requiring or recommending repairs. So we drop down. To begin with, we're in ABS, which is what this is. Right now we're getting basically, and you make sure that was cold water again. Okay. We're hitting now right outside the foundation. We're going to transition into SDR. That's the green pipe. We use PVC white fittings, but you can see we have a little water running in the kitchen. Basically, that helps us show that we have water flow. The other thing it does is it helps lubricate the camera, kind of makes it easier to push. Sometimes when you're getting out a really long line, we'll end up turning the bathtub on so that we have a lot of water flow. I like to run out wet because it's easier to push my camera. Then we turn off the water, kind of let things stabilize, and we pull it back dry, just because our camera stays nice and straight. We don't have water or debris. You don't have to worry about the camera head getting dirty, and we can see really nicely on the way coming back. I'm watching both directions, but like I say, I'm using the water to push more than anything. This house here, we are a townhome, so we're picking up right about here. We're starting to pick up another line, which is the neighboring unit. Here it looks like we're picking up another line. That's for those there. Sometimes you'll actually see that when you're pushing through on a house and they tie in an outside line, or if you're going through a basement floor, you're just seeing where they tie in other components to the house. I'm going to transition change here. Whenever we get the transition, the directional changes, that's where we have to kind of watch for bellies, disconnects, things like that. Do we have as much water flowing when we go past it as we did to start out with? Right now, we're looking really nice on this line. Don't really seem to have any issues. We're at about 60 feet right now, just so the counter is always approximate. You know, if you have a defect, some spot out in the yard, just one or two spots, and you want to locate them, that's what you use the sonde and the locator for. These marks are just kind of give a relation to where it is from the house. We should be getting pretty close here to the parking lot. I kind of guesstimate as I look out there, so I know about how far my line is going to be out. So in case it does anything weird, you know it. But it looks like we're coming up to the main hub where we're gonna tie into the whole unit's main line. And if you look right there, there's a lot more water running than we're running. And this is the transition. Not a good idea to drop into the main because sometimes the curves they take, you can get your camera head stuck. Not a good day. Somebody has to dig to get it out if you can't pull it out, or you lose a very expensive camera. So right at about 98 feet is where they transition into the main. Normally, like I said, this one, they may or may not share ownership of that line. The HOA may own after it touches somebody else's. You never know. We try to stay away from the HOA lines unless we know who owns it. This one, it sounds like she owns a portion of it, so that's why we're doing the sewer scope today. Some people will do the HOA, some people hire for the HOA, but you want to make sure that you're working for your client. When I pull back, we're going to turn the water off, let it drain. I personally like to turn off my letters. That way, if I decide if we have a problem with a line, a lot of times they'll take a snapshot and put a picture in the report of the crack or the offset, or we may have one joint that has heavy roots. So I like to not have any numbers, anything in there, just because it makes it easier for them to see nice. I like to use sanitary wipes here, keeps my equipment clean and sterilized. When I go through the house, I don't have to worry about dripping. It just makes a nice, neater job. You know, we always want to leave things as neat as we found them. So now we're just pulling back. Some guys wear knee pads. We a lot of times put a towel down. If it's a nice clean floor like this, you can actually kind of sit down and pull, and it's not a big deal. But you can see there's a little bit of residual water in the line as it's draining down, but not as much as when we were pushing out. And that just tells us we're flowing. At the top, you can see a little bit of the water line. A lot of times, if you have somebody put grease down, you'll see the grease build up on the sides. As you're looking at the line, this is SDR. You'll be able to see clay is usually an orangish color. If it's concrete, a lot of times you'll see pebbles in the bottom. It's because the concrete wears away, just like on your driveway. And so you'll see a little bit of spalling. You can actually see it's a concrete line. We don't use a lot of those in Colorado as your personal line. We see a lot of them as the main, but once in a while we'll run into them. The newer stuff is usually all SDR or PVC, although there was several different products, Orangeburg, things that we've had problems with. So once you're looking here, you'll be able to see what the material is. So the main sewer line is SDR. The underfloor portion of the house would be ABS, just like we're seeing inside the house. And my reports actually state that, so people know what they're looking at. You saw right there's a little bit of flash on the camera. We just picked up a little debris. If you shake it in the water, a lot of times there's a little bit right here. If it was too bad, usually you can do that. You can clean it off so you can see. Now this is where we transition to SDR. You can actually see right there what's called a Fernco connection. It's actually a black rubber boot. You don't glue PVC to ABS. So all the other joints will just see the joint. Usually at your transition, you're going to see evidence of that Fernco. And like I say, show them that, yes, we're still in their line. We're still at their house. Turn off the recording. Clean up your camera. We're going to clean this space. That's one of the other reasons we have.
All right. So has everybody got a good idea as to what's happening or how that, was that helpful at all? By the way, that sewer scope was amazing. You could eat dinner on that one. So what's in the report? You don't want to be afraid of the report. Okay. It's going to have observations about the system components and accessories, observations about the condition of the sewer lateral pipe, recommendations for repair of maintenance, photos of the observed conditions that we see, or videos, links of everything that we see in the actual sewer line. Common issues that we do find, since we showed you a really good sewer scope, we're going to show you some things that we do find in sewer laterals. But the video was just to give you an idea of the process of how that works. Issues that we do find: broken or collapsed pipes, pipe blockages or obstructions, root intrusion. We see that often, okay? Misaligned or offset connections, cracked pipes, corroded pipes, bellies or sags. We see that often as well. And then leaking pipe joints. Those are things we're kind of looking for. So roots, this is something we may see. If there's roots getting into a pipe, guess what? There's a leak somewhere. That's how they're penetrating. A lot of times we'll see it at the joints. Okay. This one's obviously an extreme case. But this is another one that we run the camera down. This is something we'll see, and we'll recommend that somebody else evaluate it. And we'll talk about what can be done to repair these issues. This is also a point where, if you have one person utilizing the house, you may not simulate an issue. Where if you have 4 people, one showering, one's doing laundry, the other one is using the toilet, now it's going to create a scenario which this route is going to create possibly some restriction or blockage to where it wouldn't have been found in the home inspection. Bellies and slopes. You want everything to be positively pitched. A lot of times there's no slope at all, which may or may not affect the drainage. Bellies we'll find a lot where I'll run my camera down and all of a sudden I'm in a big belly of water and I can't see anything because the camera's underwater. And then all of a sudden, if I keep pushing, you'll find it'll clear off because you're out of the belly. This is kind of what the belly looks like. And it's just a pipe that has settled. And that could be from, somebody mentioned earlier, traffic, if you have a parking lot above it, or just a parking driveway, whatever the case may be, anything that can cause settling. Misaligned pipes. If you go through, your camera will get stuck on these little lips here and you'll have a hard time pushing the camera through. And that can cause leaking. Obviously, this is an extreme picture here and this one here, but that's one thing we're looking for. Now remember, furnaces last 15, 20 years. Water heaters are supposed to last 12 years. Good luck with that. Roofs are going to last 20, 25 years. Electrical, should be updated at a certain time when things are getting obsolete and there's newer technologies out there. What I'm getting at is things need repair. Things need maintenance. Things need to be taken care of. And you have a sewer lateral that is in a house that is 80, 90 years old that no one's ever looked at. Chances are you might find something. And you may be afraid to find it, but you're going to be even more afraid to hear your client later call you and say that it's someone else's fault but theirs. So the best thing to do is get it out in the open and let's deal with it so that everybody can be happy and walk away from a transaction feeling good. Clogs, we find that as well too. From whatever reason, people flushing the wrong things down the toilets or the going into the septic system. This is really a blocked pipe. Grease, people put grease down their pipes. And then damage, of course. Something could be damaged as soon as it's installed, believe it or not. They put backfill on it, the pipe could settle and crack, create pressure on it. And these are the things we can find. And this is something that, as a professional real estate, you're going to want your client to know about. So how do we deal with issues if they are found? Well, we handle them no different than the home inspection. Many times the issues are easily resolved with minimal non-invasive action, such as a hydrojet, maybe drain cleaning or pipe relining. A lot of the repairs don't even need excavation anymore. They have new technology where they can reline it without excavating. Remember, it's better to find out now for your client's sake than to find out after they move in and potentially lose referrals or even become, target of a lawsuit. So what do these things cost? Basic drain cleaning, you're looking at maybe $175 to $450, not the end of the world. Hydrojetting, a lot of times this is the cause right here. This is the repair, not the cause, the repair. So it's not that big of an issue. Trenchless sewer line replacement, $80 to $255 per foot, depending on how much repair is needed. And then, of course, you got your Cadillac of issues. If it's extremely damaged, you're looking at a big expense, but you're going to want to know that and sleep better at night knowing that this is something that you protected your client from. Follow-up inspection, you can do that as well. Oftentimes repairs do not require replacement of the entire sewer system or sewer line lateral that is. It's not common to find issues after repairs have been completed. However, if there is a big excavation issue where they need to actually get to that pipe, dig in the front yard, just alone, like I mentioned before, just alone the backfill can sometimes damage the pipe. So it may be in their best interest to have a third party come after just to make sure that nothing was damaged once they put the new pipe in. That can happen to drain tile too, believe it or not. Backfilling a house, a brand new constructed house, and the drain tile gets collapsed because the weight of the backfill crushes it. And you don't know about that till later. Sewer lateral video instruction protection for you and your client. They're becoming quickly the standards. As I mentioned, municipalities have recognized the frequency of issues after the real estate transaction occurs, and they have acted by requiring sewer scopes. Sewer scopes can save your client from future problems. Sewer scopes can save you from losing future referrals, and sewer scopes are good risk management for you. This is the big question. We get this all the time. And I'd be open to hear what people have to say. Do you need the seller's permission to perform the sewer scope? Is it treated like radon? Is it treated like any other ancillary service? Or does it need special approval? Well, the answer is yes and no. Okay. The real estate offer to purchase says what? An inspection is defined as an observation of the property. A test is defined as the taking of samples of materials such as soils, waters, air, or building materials from the property, actually taking something from the property and then sending it to a laboratory for analysis. Okay. That is the difference between testing and inspecting. Inspecting, you're just doing observations. Testing, that's where you need your prior approval, your radon testing, your air sampling, whatever the case may be. You need to have that approved. However, okay, a sewer scope is not a test unless the sewer scope takes samples, which it does not. Well, maybe samples that we don't want in any event. And there is a laboratory analysis on those. So we're not going to be doing that. We're just observing that pipe lateral. The offer to purchase does not definitively provide one way or the other if the sewer scope is permitted under the home inspection. So what's the best practice? Put it in your offer. And that way it'll avoid any type of misunderstanding or confusion. The best practice is to provide specifically for such procedure in the offer when drafting or by amendment. You don't technically have to, but if it's going to cause people to freak out, you might want to put it in there. List of sewer lateral inspection in the component section will avoid any type of misunderstanding. So some people don't get testing approval to do it, and there's no problems. And then sometimes there is. So it all depends on the transaction and who you're working with. And that's it. Questions? Comments, concerns? Did you learn anything?
This is great.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I also want to point out that we do have a media room that you are welcome to use at any time. If you want to do more videos in your business, this is free. Just reach out to our company and we'll be happy to get you in touch with Jack where he can make an appointment and get you in here. And these are also other seminars that we do, or I should say Zoominars, if that's such a word, of other items or topics that we talk about. And if somebody has a hot topic that they want us to put something together, we can do that too. We do it for offices. We do it for a small group of people, large group, whatever the case may be, anything to help you out. So any questions? Let's see. I see you got good stuff. Thanks. Great news. How much is a sewer scope? Oh, very good question. If you go out and you call like sewer Roto-Rooter or a plumber to come out and do a sewer scope, it's going to be about $450. We do it with an inspection for $250. Without an inspection, I believe it goes up to $275 or $300. But that's what it costs. So good stuff. Did I miss how much this particular inspection was? I just went over that. Very helpful. Learned something new that I wasn't aware of. Thank you much for inviting me today. Thanks, Dave. Learned a lot. Can you do the reinspection after repair? Yes, we can. We can do the reinspection after the repair is needed if they want. Any other questions? What if you got an inspection in less than 2 years and they missed leaking watermarks in the basement? What if you got an inspection in less than 2 years and they missed leaking watermarks in the basement? I would have to know more content with that. Not sure. Can you do reinspection after? Yep. That was not in the report. Well, there's also, to bring it to that question, it all depends what was there the day of the inspection. It also, what did the property condition report say? Is there anything in the property condition report that was used as a benchmark for past leaking and things like that? Those are the things that we think about. So that's just a short answer for that. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time when we do another seminar. I'm going to turn off the recording here.